All right, thank you, Bill. It was a gorgeous day. West Michigan getting out and voting on this election day.
Candidates for the 3rd Congressional District cast their ballots early this morning. We caught up with Republican Justin Amash in Cascade Township and Democrat Pat Miles in Southeast Grand Rapids. The winner will replace longtime Representative Vern Ehlers.
We have team coverage on this race. 24-hour News 8's Crystal Hilliard's with the Miles camp tonight. But let's start with Tony Tagliavia live with the Amash campaign. Tony?
Brian, Justin Amash, the state representative, and his supporters are expected to be here. You can see it's not just the headquarters for Justin Amash, but it's the headquarters for other Kent GOP candidates. The people, the Republicans, want to put in Lansing to represent people here in Kent County. Supporters, of course, want Justin Amash to replace Vern Ehlers in the 3rd Congressional District. It covers most all of Kent County plus Berry and Ionia counties. And again, he is serving his first term in the State House of Representatives. He's from Cascade Township. The party starts at 8 o'clock when the polls close. We'll be here then. We'll be here throughout the night. Live in downtown Grand Rapids, Tony Tagliavia, 24-hour News 8.
Thank you, Tony. Let's go now to 24-hour News 8's Crystal Hilliard with more on what the Democrats are doing. Crystal?
Good evening. Good evening. We're here at the Wegge Center on Aquinas College's campus. Now, as you can see behind me, the room is empty up here on the 3rd floor. But in just a couple of hours, we expect there to be hundreds of Democrats packing this place out, trying to cheer their candidate, Pat Miles Jr., into 3rd District Congressional seat. Now, he's running up against Justin Amash, like Tony just told you. Both of them are vying for Vern Ehlers' seat, so it'll be a really interesting race to watch. Not only are we going to keep you posted on the election results as they come back minute to minute, but we'll be here all night to give you behind-the-scenes look at the campaign. We'll be around the campaign party. Anything interesting going on, we've got you covered, so make sure you stay with us all night. Reporting live from Aquinas College, Crystal Hilliard, 24-hour News 8.
Crystal, thank you. We are sparing no effort in covering this election for you, from our expertise in the field and in the studio to our technology. We want to go back now to 24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin with a look at how we're pulling it all off. Rick?
Well, let's start with, we've got some excellent minds when it comes to technology around here, but this whole thing starts with a plan. When printed out, it's about that thick. It sends crews all over the place to Detroit and Jackson and Battle Creek and all over West Michigan. But the technology is something that we can use in the studio to give you more of the impact of this race. For example, look at this map. This is one you won't find anyplace else. This is going to give you the totals for the governor's race. Well, sure, we've got that in any number of forms. This map, however, will change colors, red and blue for the respective parties. It will show you which county is voting which way. And by the way, we can go into those counties individually and show you, for example, in Kent County or any county that we want to pick out, how they're voting when it comes to governor. Again, this will all start to colorize as the night goes along. Just one of the ways we can show you not just the results, but the impact. But if you'll come with me for just a minute, this is where I'll be watching the results from with my computer here. And you see this big camera in the middle. You'll see a lot of shots from there. And we're going to be at this big board, too, because this board is where we have dozens of races where we can monitor them with a push of a button. We showed you a little earlier the 6 big races that we're following, all of these congressional races and the governor's race, but more important, I believe, will be these 4 charts that will talk about the balance of power that will happen in the U.S. House, Senate. All of those races we can control with a touch of a button with this. Again, over here, back to my spot where I'll be watching the results and back to our touch screen, because not only do we have the temperature map, but we also can take a look at any number of races. For example, the all-important Michigan Senate races, and we can call them up individually. One of those races that we'll be watching will be the 29th. That's the one that's being vacated by Bill Hardeman, and we'll be watching that race closely tonight because we know that the balance of power in the state of Michigan will depend largely on races just like this one. So we'll be watching it not only live on the scene, but we've got all of this technology. It updates automatically. We may be talking about this later. You'll see these numbers change because it's automatic. It's one of the ways we bring you the most comprehensive coverage of Decision 2010. Back to you.
A lot different from the old days when they put felt boards and magic markers, huh?
I didn't hear anything about Twitter or Facebook, Rick.
I should have mentioned, I'm on Facebook right now. In fact, if you want to see more behind-the-scenes stuff, just go to Facebook, Rick Albin, and you and I can talk all night long. We got a lot of stuff going on.
All right. So, needless to say, stay with 24-hour News 8 as we get closer to those election results coming in. The polls close at 8. As soon as they shut down, we're going live with continuing coverage. At 8 o'clock on WXSP, we'll have analysis starting at 9 o'clock on Wood TV 8. And at 11, join us for a special hour-long newscast with limited commercial interruption. We're also online, as Rick was telling you. Get the very latest always at woodtv.com.